Okie dokie, so how does an $850 year-old phone stack up against a brand new $1,100 piece of glass? A lot better than you'd think actually, but there's some big differences. Like one phone is better than the other. Now, when I say there's some pretty big differences, I'm talking about almost everything. Like the builds are completely different. On one hand, with the iPhone being an all glass phone, it feels great to hold and looks wicked. But even with its new fancy super strong glass, I always feel nervous around it. Kind of like talking to some ultra hot babe, just not really sure how to handle the situation. The Pixel, on the other hand, only looks okay. Like I've never thought of it as particularly striking. So in this case, it's kind of like talking to a 5 out of 10. I can just be myself around it. That's so mean. Security features on both are obviously totally different. On one we've got Face ID and on the other we've got the trusty old Fingerprint Reader. And they both work, but one works way better than the other. The Pixel's fingerprint reader's never been that great. Like on new Samsung or OnePlus phones, for example, they're stupid fast, but the Pixel's fingerprint reader's always felt like it's trying to sprint with a gimped foot or something. Like it's just sad to watch. Face ID, on the other hand, used to be like the biometric version of the Pixel's fingerprint reader, but I always knew it just needed a little romantic time with Apple's engineers, which it got, and now there's no comparison. Dual speakers on both phones, but on the Pixel they're front-facing, which I was so sure would sound better than the iPhone. Except it doesn't. The iPhone sounds so much better, like night and day difference, man. Now, comparing both displays is like eating trail mix. There's a lot of yummy bits, but no one likes raisins. That's a terrible example. Okay, like for starters, the Pixel's got a 6-inch POLED display at 2880 by 1440, so it's got a higher resolution compared to the iPhone's 6.5-inch display at 2688 by 1242. But the iPhone has an AMOLED display from Samsung, so we're getting better colors, saturation, contrast, brightness, and it supports HDR. But as much as I prefer the iPhone's display, it doesn't have that always-on display feature like the Pixel, which I'm a huge fan of, and it has that big ass notch that apparently a few people out there aren't too fond of. I can't imagine why. So I usually gloss over performance because phones are so fast at everything these days that there's usually no wait times for anything. But yo, in this case, the iPhone makes the Pixel look like Mr. Magoo. It's ridiculous. So for a while now, the Pixel's been known for taking the best pictures out of any phone. Well, there's no doubt about it. The iPhone is right there beside it now, but there are a few differences between the two that make it tough to call a clear winner. So for instance, awesome dynamic range is one of the Pixel's strengths, but now I'm pretty confident in saying that the iPhone has the better dynamic range, but only slightly. I kept going back and forth on the colors because they look so good on both phones, so I could go either way with that. The iPhone's photos do look more processed than the Pixel's, but I wasn't able to notice until I looked at everything on my computer. So sharing with friends on social media, no one will notice. Edge detection on portrait photos is really close, but without any post adjustments with the iPhone's manual background blur feature, I'd have to give it to the Pixel, but just narrowly. Like if I was an average consumer and spent literally 5 seconds readjusting the blur of my portrait photos, the iPhone would walk away with the gold in that department, no question. Battery life is another one of those important differences between the two. Like for me, the Pixel's 3520 milliamp hour battery started off as a full day phone, but now after only 1 year, it's like an old man just done after dinner. Meanwhile, the iPhone's often on some 2-day cocaine fueled bender with its smaller 3174 milliamp hour battery. So who's the winner? Well, I love my Pixel and it's staying in my pocket for now. However, that's mainly because I'm an Android user, but the iPhone is the better all around phone. And if it ran Android, well, I'd be a proud iSheep. Anyways, I'm often wrong about life, so I could easily be wrong about everything in this video, so drop me a comment and let me know what you think or if I got something wrong. But that does it for me. If you enjoyed the video, show me some love with that like button. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for new videos every week. But thanks, as always, for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.